The County of Aragon, the County of Jaca, was a small Frankish marcher county in the central Pyrenean valley of the Aragon River, comprising Ansó, and Canfranc, and centered on the small town of Jaca, an area now part of Spain. It was created by the Carolingians late in the 8th or early in the 9th century, but soon fell into the orbit of the Kingdom of Navarre, into which it was absorbed in 922. It would later form the core of the 11th century Kingdom of Aragon. Carolingian rule, originally intended to protect the central Pyrenean passes from the Moors in the same way that the Duchy of Vasconia and the Marca Hispanica were to protect the west and east, Aragon remained largely out of the reach of its nominal Carolingian lords, though it was an expressly Frankish creation and not an ethnically distinct region. The earliest attested local ruler was Oriol, probably Frankish, Visigothic Hispano-Roman. That Aragon was a combined creation of Frankish efforts at reconquest and the activity of the local Hispano-Visigothic elite to unite the rural populace against the Moors of the Ebro Valley seems assured. In the first half of the 9th century, under the strong Carolingians, such as Charlemagne, the County of Aragon was culturally oriented northwards, across the important passes at Echo and Canfranc. The monastery of San Pedro de Cereza, founded about that time, was a Benedictine house nourished by the reforms of Benedict of Anian. The cultural endowment of the monastery was extensive. By 848 its collection of manuscripts included Virgil, Horace, Juvenal, Porphyry, Aldhelm, and Augustine of Hippo's De Civitate Dei. Navarre's rule. In the later 9th century, the Carolingians ceased to be powerful sovereigns in the outlying regions of their empire, and the Moors of the Ebro Valley simultaneously ceased being a threat to the Christian population to the north. As Carolingian influence waned, the Counts of Aragon sought new allies. In 820, Charlemagne's vassal, Count Asnari, was ejected from the county by his son-in-law Garcia the Bad, who rode to power on the back of troops supplied by Inigo Ista, ruler of the fledgling Kingdom of Pamplona. He then repudiated his wife in order to marry Inigo's daughter. In 844, Asnar's son Galindo was forced to make himself a vassal of Inigo in order to secure his return and succession to the county. Count Asnar too looked south, marrying his daughter to the Wali of Huesca, Muhammad al-Tawil. The Navarres also expanded their kingdom to the region south of the Aragon, his zone devastated militarily by the Arabs in the preceding centuries of conflict. The Navarres' fortification of this area severely curtailed the possibility of Aragonese expansion via reconquest by cutting off the obvious route of such conquest. The death of Galindo Asnar II without surviving legitimate sons resulted in a division of his lands, with Sobra passing with a daughter to the Counts of Ribagorza, while Aragon itself fell under the direct control of the Pamplona crown. King Garcia Sanchez I, marrying Andrego de Galinde, another daughter of the defunct count. During the century of direct Navarre's lordship, the diminutive County of Aragon retained a separate administration, and its charters referred to it as the land of the Aragonese lords, and counts were appointed by the kings, starting with the illegitimate son of the last autonomous count. In the 10th century, the religious center of the county moved south to San Juan de la Peña. San Juan, contrary to San Pedro, had been founded by Christian refugees from Moorish Zaragoza, and the monastery had a militant Visigothic character. The war with the Muslims was espoused, and the Visigothic rite was the standard of worship. In 922, the Aragonese had finally secured their own bishopric. The old itinerant bishops of Aragon were established in the valley of Borao. The bishops regularly took up residence in one of the major monasteries, like San Juan, San Pedro, or San Adrian de Sase. The location of the see also serves as evidence that the upper valleys in the south of the country were becoming increasingly more populated as the region south of the river Aragon became more fortified and the Moorish threat diminished further. This frontier zone, too, was seeing repopulation in light of militarization. Conversion into kingdom. Sancho the Great, who had united most of Christian Iberia under his control, gave lands in Aragon to his illegitimate son, Ramiro, as early as 1015. With the deaths of his father in 1035 and brother, Gonzalo of Sobrarben-Ribagorza, whose lands he also acquired. In 1043, Ramiro held the nucleus of what would become the Kingdom of Aragon. List of counts? -809, Aureolus 809 to 820, Asno Galindei deposed in 820 by Pamplona 820 to 833, Garcia of the Bad installed as vassal by Pamplona 833 to 844, Galindo Garce, son of Garcia of the Bad 844 to 867, Galindo Asnerazan, son of Asno Galindei, family restored on accepting suzerainty of Pamplona, 867 to 893, Asno Galindei II, son of Galindo Asnerazai, 893 to 922, Galindo Asneraz II, son of Asno Galindei II. For the death of Galindo Asneraz II, the County of Aragon was incorporated within the Crown of Navarre. The rulers of Navarre appointed a series of nobles as accounts in Aragon. These are poorly documented, but include Gunterslow Galindei, illegitimate son of Galindo Asneraz II. Fortune Jimenez, count from 943 to 958. Gonzalo Sanchez, son of King Sancho II Garce of Navarre, Count of Aragon under tutelage of his mother Araca Fernandez.